Hello, friends. How's it going? Welcome back to Attack the Pantry. I am Jenn Vega. This stream is a deep dive into ingredients, cooking techniques, and recipes to help you cook for yourself during the ongoing thing that's happening and for the rest of your adult life. Say hello and throw us an egg in the chat if you like what you're seeing or hearing. That is how we show love around here. Last time on Attack the Pantry, we opened up a jar of Chi-Chi's Szechuan chili oil and made noodles. It was really fun. You can watch all the past clips here on my channel if you click on videos, and the entire archive is located at youtube.com/JENNDLV. I will make sure I put that on the screen for you so that you know where to follow. Let's see. Here we go. Boom. Ooh, look at that. What else is happening? Oh, this is something that's happening. Twitch has a new feature called Moments, and we can play around with it. Anyone who has mod status can set off a moment, and you who are watching live can claim these moments on your profiles, which is like pretty much collecting clips, but like as a badge. I don't know how it works yet, but let's play around with it. I don't know. We'll see. Hi, David. Good to see you. Thanks for watching. Glad you're here. Let me get this banner off of here. What else is happening? Business. I'm a Twitch affiliate. That means that your subscriptions with either real money or an Amazon Prime account will send me a little bit of pocket change every month to make this show better. So click on that button that says gift a sub and you'll get a little crowd next to your name in the chat when you send along a little subscription. It's very nice. Or another way to support the show is to suggest ingredients for the wish list, the taste test wish list. So you'll notice that if you spend your channel points, you can redeem something called taste test. And that is to make me try something live on the air. We'll interrupt our conversation and I will eat something. But if you want to suggest items that we put on the list, or if you want to actually send me some of the things on the list, I have a wish list right here. I'm going to put in the chat. Boom. It's been really fun. Gotta say. There are lots of really good links below the video to support the stream. There's a Patreon. There's an Etsy store. I have a bunch of cookbooks for sale. But one really big way to help us out is to help tweet and tell folks that you're watching the show right now, because Twitch has a terrible algorithm for telling people when things are live. So yeah, tell a friend. More the merrier and all that. But that brings me to my guest. Guess what? I have a guest. Please welcome Eric.
It's me, Eric Grundhauser.
You're here.
Hi.
You did it. You made it. You clicked the link.
It was harrowing, but I'm very excited to be here.
I'm so proud of you. Eric, could you please tell the folks who you are, what your deal is, what you do?
Absolutely. So I am Eric. My name is Eric Grundhauser. I'm a writer and occasional talking head on TV, occasional live performer, and a longtime I don't know, guy who does stuff at Atlas Obscura.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. But mainly you just stick with writer usually works. That's my main gig these days.
Cool.
Yeah, and big One Piece fan.
Yes.
As well, which is how we
That was my next question. My next question was, how do we know each other? And we met through Twitter. Yes. Because of One Piece.
Yeah, it's so funny. So I hadn't been on Twitter for like 2 years, and I decided to get back on Twitter like last September. It's like the only social media I hadn't gotten rid of because I was Twitter verified when that meant a thing. And I don't even know what it is, but I'm like, it's something I have. And now somebody used it, I guess. I don't know what for. Anyway, so I decided to get back on Twitter. And one of the first things I found was you were watching your way through One Piece, and I had just finished watching my way through. Oh, you just
caught up.
Yeah, like I started watching One Piece early in the pandemic as a just sort of a project
thing to do.
I'm very into the idea of long running shows, and I just always want to know. I want to know why. Why do some shows go for 2 seasons and then you have something like Supernatural that runs for 15 years?
Yeah.
It's just always mind blowing. I like to watch those because I like to see how they evolve, things like that. Anyhow, and One Piece, obviously being one of the longest running anime shows ever, I wanted to know what it was about, and then instantly fell in love and took well over a year probably to get through it. To take some breaks. It's a long show.
It's a long show. Yeah, I think I was watching at a rate of 4 episodes a day.
Yeah,
Life gets in the way. I
of course.
don't watch a show, but maybe I would have a binge day of like all day Saturday or something like that. But I recently just caught up as of January 15th. So
Well, one of the
what a
things
trip.
what a trip. And
Yeah.
I was just like so excited to see somebody else like experiencing it and watching you experience the show, because I watched it in isolation. My partner doesn't want to hear about One Piece. Most of my friends, all of my friends, for the most part, don't want to hear about One Piece. But I was like obsessed, and so it was really nice to have like go on that journey with you and be like, yes, oh, that part, yes,
yeah. That was the feedback that I got from a lot of seasoned watchers, people who have watched it a few times. They really enjoy it when new people continue.
Yeah.
And go through it. Yeah.
Totally. Well, I think it's one of those shows it's daunting, so that because it's so long or has been going for so long. And so I think a lot of people don't even attempt it. And so you end up having just people who watch it alone, and they're all isolated until they find someone else who's done
Someone online.
Yeah.
Someone online.
Yeah. I feel like this is what like people who've explored the Arctic must feel like.
Yes.
When they finally like you too have been to the ends of the earth.
Yeah, David says you want to see the newbies' reaction to the good parts, but then also see what parts turn into good bits for them too. Yeah, it's been really fun because I get a lot of feedback from people like, "Oh, I didn't see it that way," or "That's not how I read it," but cool.
Yeah, and I absolutely like finding out the parts that like does the same part hit for you? Like when there are some of the bigger parts that I think hit for everybody. Also, just a point of order. I know this is a cooking show. We just launched into the anime talk. Okay, everybody
Totally
knows
fine.
about One Piece, right? Okay.
Oh, they know that I've been watching. They know.
Okay, all right. Just quick straw hat check.
It's all
but
good.
yeah, but yeah, like David's saying, the you want to see the reactions to the good parts. Like I've been laughing at the joke of Luffy pushing a zombie.
Yes,
back
into the ground.
It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Nothing is funnier. And
so funny.
Just to see like have anybody else share that joke. I've tried to explain it to people, be like, okay, look, so it's like they're these pirates and then they're on like sort of a Halloween themed like island, but it's a ship. You get it? And then there's a zombie, but then the captain, and then but he's kind of dumb, but also fun and nice. And
the zombie just wants to go back to sleep, so he just pushes the zombie slowly back into the earth.
Doesn't even say anything and just like no.
He just goes "Are," and then walks over and pushes him down. That's one of my favorite jokes too.
Like the limited amount of Japanese that I've learned from watching all of One Piece, I think I know all 4 words now, maybe.
Mine are all sounds or like agreement, or it's like Luffy makes a lot of movement sounds like
yeah.
Or yep. When he lands somewhere, he goes yep. So I make a lot of those noises around the house now. Yeah, David's laughing at our recap. Thank you.
Oh, David, I will recap One Piece all day long.
Well, this is really funny that David's in the chat. David is my editor for the One Piece cookbook.
Oh, awesome.
David has spent a lot of time with One Piece, so thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you, David. I'll talk. We can talk all about One Piece. I love it.
Seriously, we could. But let me just we'll get into another segment and then we can continue our conversation. Of course, all One Piece talk is welcome. If folks have questions for us about it, we are happy to rap about it. Oh my god. But I'm gonna quickly just share my screen. We have some stuff to share. I love doing show and tell. If you're new to the show, I I ask that folks tag me on Instagram or Twitter or DM me your cooking photos this week, just so that we can cheer you on. We want to see what other people are cooking. Or, if you don't want to show off your cooking because you're embarrassed, it's fine. It's fine. Send me food memes, especially eggs and cheese. So I'm all about it. I love it. So I'm going to quickly just share my screen. It's going to get a little weird. Sorry. 1 second.
Let's get weird.
Let's get weird.
Let's get weird. Why not?
Get weird. All right. Welcome to my desktop, everybody. It'll change every 30 seconds, I think, but
it's so clean.
No, it's a lie. It's like a teenage closet. You know what I'm talking about? Where you shove
the ultimate liars.
You shove everything under the bed and then inside of the closet.
Sure.
So it's actually in folders that are not organized. What happened to my submitted? Oh, shoot. I know why. This is why, because it's browser based. Somebody, James, I believe it was James, sent me this Nami cosplay.
Oh my God, look at that.
Look at this Shiba Inu 223 with a Nami cosplay. And they got a straw hat.
Oh, little straw hat Nami. I love this. I love
know.
the berries at her feet too.
Yeah.
The little gold pieces.
It's very good. Remember when he puts the hat on her and says, "Aren't we friends?"
Oh. You mean the day my life changed?
I know, right?
But the day I knew what true friendship meant? Yes, I remember it quite well.
Yes. So cute. This Shiba's like, I'm done. I don't want this anymore. I don't want the wig.
Just like Nami. She's like, she wouldn't have that. She's like modern Nami.
Stop putting this hat on me.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Sniff the berry. Sniff the berry. Thank you, James, for sending this one in. We love a One Piece meme. It looks like there's a few other cosplays with this dog. Wait, is that Boa Hancock?
Oh my God.
Oh, no way. Yes, it is, because it has the haircut on the side.
Oh, I want to roll that dog over and do the Boa Hancock backflip. Yeah.
The point, yeah. I love that. That's so cute.
Oh, what a good pup. Oh, what a good pup. Hi, buddy.
Very obedient pup. Bless. I love this dog.
Whoever owns this dog is living a blessed life.
Yeah, if folks want to follow this dog, it's Shiba Inu 223 on Instagram for cosplaying dog. So cute. And then Danelle sent me this TikTok. We won't be able to hear the audio, but I think you're going to get the gist by watching. Let's see. It's like, would you like some cheese on your pasta? And this guy is just slowly going. And those things are not light either. He's like, say when, and the guy's like, when. That's essentially it.
Yeah, that's really. Do you think he really shaved the whole thing?
No, that texture does not look like Parmesan cheese. It looks more like sawdust or something like that.
There is the whole.
That does not look like cheese.
Yeah. I also like that they went to the trouble of this joke where they're like, we don't need to bother cooking the pasta. It's dumb.
Right.
We'll get the joke. But let's bury me in this.
I have lifted a 80-pound thing of Parmesan.
Yeah.
In a cheese, I used to work in a cheese shop, and at the cheese shop you have to flip them every month because it has a bunch of oil on the inside still. And
right.
It needs to just redistribute. So we flip them, and it's like CrossFit. This guy was casually just holding it in one arm, and using a peeler, and it looks like he broke it because he has another peeler in his hand. Or something.
Hey, in fairness, I have broken not one of those wire cheese cutters because I've gotten a little too ambitious with it. They're not meant to stand up to my cheese needs.
Yo, what are your cheese needs like?
sicko mode.
Oh, I love it.
Cheese needs,
Oh, you sound like
as
me.
they say.
Great. 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 Love to hear it.
Hmm.
What do I have going on this week? I also share a weekly, anime screen. I've moved on, not necessarily moved on, but because now that I'm waiting for One Piece every
Of
week,
course.
I picked up a few other series. I've been watching Restaurant to Another World, Izakaya, and then I'm now on Working. Working has like 2 exclamation points and has like www.working or Waganaria.
Sure.
Um, but it's more about restaurant life than actually eating the food, because all the series that I've been
Right.
watching have been about food porn and describing like all these ingredients. But this one is more of like back of house, like the wait staff, the cooks,
It's like
and
slice of life sort of stuff.
yeah, a lot of the interpersonal relationships. It's really funny. It's that whole trope of like the main character is smarter than everybody else
Right.
in
Right.
in the on the cast. But there's
Sure.
this really funny running joke about one character's parents owe money to another character's parents, and so she makes his life miserable at work.
Great. Great.
um, but a long time ago, when they were kids, he says this: "Sheesh, money causes nothing but trouble, whether you have it or not." And I'm like, kid,
Oof. Welcome to the revolution, kid.
this kid knew. This
Yeah.
kid knew.
Yeah.
You
That's
said it.
it's I think I complimented you on Twitter about this, but you are such a master screen grabber.
Thank you.
Uh yeah, it's impressive, even outside of One Piece. And now wait, let me ask you too. Wait, so were you into anime before One Piece?
No.
Right. Neither
Mm-mm.
was I. Or I'm not, am I still? Although now I have a Crunchyroll subscription, so I'm
Yeah,
like,
same.
hmm. hmm,
I mean, I've seen a few things. I've seen like
sure.
Cowboy Bebop. I watched a lot of Sailor Moon when I was younger, but I wasn't dedicated. I wasn't paying attention, processing themes, talking to people about it.
Right.
Um, so now it's like a thing that I do. It's become my thing, which is really exciting because I,
It's
I
a,
I like writing about it. I like figuring out the food. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. I mean, I had a similar what I have a TikTok that haven't updated in like a year, but I started it because I was making One Piece models. I was making like ship models and doing like
Oh,
process videos of it. And I got like 5,000 followers overnight
what?
because of like the anime community. And
No
I was like, I'm
way.
like, I only watched this one. And but now I'm like branching out. Are you finding other anime like to be as engaging and enjoyable as you did One Piece?
they they all have different paces, is what I will say. Because One Piece itself is kind of slower, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
Uh, so some of them feel fast. Like this one, Waganaria is every episode is a new season. So like it's fall, it's spring. So this one moves along pretty quickly in a student's life. Um, but others have, kind of had this slower pace. I don't know what the term is for it, but I think there's a name for these not, I don't know, no high pressure stories. I don't remember what it's called. There's like a term for it. Is it like soft or something like that? I don't know.
Is it like cozy something?
Something, yeah, cozy, like cozy
Like
animes or cozy manga are a little bit slower. There's like
sure.
no stakes. There's no enemy that's gonna show up in the finale, that kind of thing. It's
How
like
can you have a
everyday
cooking
life.
anime without
Yeah.
stakes?
Yeah, seriously. But I don't know. I've been enjoying it. I've been discovering that I'm noticing a trend of the kinds of food that are covered among these shows.
Hmm.
There's a lot of custard or like sweets.
Okay.
I didn't notice this before, but yeah, sweets, a lot of custards, cakes, and then kind of westernized food that sort of is understood as Japanese, but it actually came from other places.
Hmm.
So like Hamburg steak is a very like you would get that at an izakaya, but it comes from Germany. like the idea comes from like
What is a Hamburg
hamburger.
steak?
It's basically a hamburger patty without the bun, covered in like an onion gravy. So it's closer to like
Oh,
Salisbury steak,
right.
but
That's what I was thinking. Right.
yeah. So that kind of stuff, and you think it's Japanese, but it actually isn't. And so
Huh.
it's interesting to see people like distinguish between traditional Japanese cooking and like westernized like cooking.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I could go for days on this,
No,
but
that's yes,
uh,
please.
this is a dish that I discovered through Wakakozake. David actually recommended this anime to me. Have you heard of this one?
No.
This is a 2-minute anime on Crunchyroll. You can blast right through it.
Hello.
It's a woman that finishes her very tiresome workday, goes to a restaurant, orders one dish, savors it, and sighs, and then that's the episode.
So it's like a wordless exploration
I
of
mean,
enjoying food.
she's like talking about work or like narration and stuff, but it's just 2 minutes. She eats this thing, she sighs, and then goes home. That's it. It's
That sounds
amazing.
incredible.
It's so great.
Sounds-
So I watched all of that in one day.
Sure, of course. Of course.
And then discovered there's a live action also on Crunchyroll. So
Oh.
those are 30 minutes long, and they've crunched 2 of the storylines from each of those episodes into one 30-minute episode. But long story, this is a dish that I discovered from the show. It's called namaru, and it is minced mackerel with ginger, shiso, cilantro, and miso. So it's
Ooh.
basically like Hawaiian poke,
Mhm.
chopped together into like this paste, and then you form it into a patty, and then you put these cross hatches in it so that you can pour soy sauce so that it goes through the little troughs. It's so cute. And then
Oh my
you can
god.
have this with rice, or like I did, I had nori sheets and ate it kind of like little mini tacos or little mini hand rolls. So it was super easy. I put this recipe up on my Patreon for folks who are interested in this. But yeah, it's not really a widely known dish. It comes from the Chiba prefecture. And it's usually not on menus. It's like kind of like a folk dish that you ask people like, oh, do you have mackerel and ginger? Oh, could you make this thing? And they
Huh.
do, and it's great.
I mean, that sounds delicious and also like right up my alley of the type of food that I enjoy, which is sort of either particulate or taco formatted food. But I was gonna mention the cross hatching because it's something I rarely think about when I'm cooking is like a decorative element.
Ah.
And this is obviously has both a practical concern or a practical use to guide the soy sauce throughout it, but
Mm-hmm.
it looks so good.
Yeah, it was delicious. I want to do it again.
Was it? I mean, I guess was it difficult to make?
No,
I can't imagine.
not at all. It's less than 5 ingredients, and you basically chop it all together on a cutting board, and it becomes this paste stuff, and you just have to form it into, scoop it into a bowl.
I mean,
you don't have to
yeah.
get fancy about it. It could look like an ice cream scoop of fish.
Yum.
Yeah, we don't shy away from things like that on this show.
I 100%, 200% would eat fish ice cream without thinking.
Yeah,
That sounds great.
I'm all about it. That reminds me, I have had frozen sashimi before,
Oh,
in a tropical climate. That was amazing. I don't know if they meant to do that, but
yeah. Was it just like a frozen piece of fish?
it was supposed to be like salmon sashimi.
Okay,
And maybe their fridge was a little too cold, but
got it.
I enjoyed it because it was 90 degrees out,
Yeah,
so
I mean, I guess that's the original fish popsicle. If you took
yeah.
a salmon steak and just froze it with like a skewer,
Mm, yeah. Yeah, totally.
that would make a
I'm
fish
gonna try
popsicle,
it
right?
now, and then we're gonna have like a little soy sauce drippy on it that freezes
Oh yes.
mid drip,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
like a
Or if you
chocolate
could,
dip, but
yeah,
it's soy
exactly right.
sauce.
Like if you could just like dip it in like maybe a teriyaki sauce, because that's a little more
Ooh.
gel-esque.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I gotta try that now.
Mm-hmm.
What else is happening? Oh, this is exciting. We had a book cover reveal of my next book that's coming out. Very exciting. I helped develop Watermelon and Redbirds with Nicole Taylor. It is the first Juneteenth cookbook that's coming out on May 31st. I'll share the link in the chat in a second, but this has been a really cool project. Just thinking about foods that have been part of Juneteenth celebrations and learning more about what that means and how people celebrate it differently in different regions of the U.S. So I learned a lot in this cookbook process, and really happy that it's finally coming out. I think I turned this in. Technically, I turned it in a year ago, but we were still doing some edits like a month ago.
Yeah.
This is how books go.
Yeah, I was gonna say one of the joys of publishing is that, yeah, like
they take forever. But yeah, this is coming out soon. It's gonna be so much fun. I think this cover shot is called. Ooh, she calls it like a maroon cocktail. I think I don't remember the real name of it, but it's hibiscus based, which is very exciting. What else? There's a lot of really great stuff, and I'm drawing a blank. Oh, okay. So I did some pork ribs with dukkha in here. There's a peppercorn steak.
Wait, what is dukkha?
Dukkha is an Egyptian nut mixture with spices. So it's like orange peel, coriander, and nuts crushed together to make like a condiment sprinkle.
Oh,
yeah.
Delicious.
Exciting.
Yeah,
yes.
would eat.
Yes. We also have like molasses lacquered turkey leg in the style of like Renaissance fair like turkey legs.
There are certain words. This is just my layman's analysis of like a lot of food media. There are like certain words when I talk about food that I'm like, I don't know if they should be in the same room together.
Oh,
and that's
sure.
like lacquered.
Yeah.
I think slathered is one that I'm always like, I don't know.
Yeah. Covered.
Yeah,
coated, brushed
coated,
on.
Yeah. Shellacked.
Shellacked.
Like if it's like, oh, we took this rib, we shellacked it with.
I know. We get into Tide Pod,
Yes, exactly.
That's right. I'm very conscious of that. Like a lot of brands have been sort of making makeup look edible, and I'm like, don't do this. Please do not do this. I think it's Uber Eats who has been the latest guilty party of doing this, because they're trying to promote that they're not just delivering food anymore, but like groceries and makeup and things that you might need. So like Jennifer, what's her name? Jennifer Coolidge.
Sure. Oh, sure.
Is in one of the commercials, and she like opens her grocery bag and she's like, "Oh, I've never had this before," and it's like a lipstick, and she straight up eats the lipstick. And I'm like, don't do that. Don't tell people to do that.
So their marketing was like, people might be confused about Uber Eats delivering other things. So let's have someone eat other things. Yeah. Kept trying forbidden makeup. That's right.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's so ridiculous. Anyway.
Yeah, sorry.
That was my whole tangent about Uber Eats. But yeah, this book is going to be available for pre-sale now, and I'll share the link once I stop sharing my screen. But that's what's up with me this week, folks. If you want to share things with me and be featured on the show, please do tag me on Instagram and Twitter with your cooking photos or memes, or DM them to me, whatever. I'm happy to show and tell. Let's catch up in the chat for a second. Yeah. Oh, that's why you said forbidden makeup. Hey, JV, how's it going? Glad to see you. Happy you're here. Let's move on to your photos that you sent to me. This is very exciting. I love showing off what people send to me. Is there any particular one that you wanted to start on?
We can start on well, you know what? Actually, how about that strawberry tart?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Oh, not this one.
Oh, different.
We could talk about that one, but the strawberry tart is good to start on because this is the first thing I consider. This is the first thing that I ever cooked.
Oh, really?
And technically, I guess I baked it. And this is so this is a strawberry cream cheese pretzel crust tart.
Pretzel crust.
Pretzel crust.
Yes.
Like crushed up like half a bag of pretzels and made that
Yum.
crust. And it's super good. But it's like one of the first. So as I sort of told you previously, like, so I for most of my life have never cooked. Didn't touch it, didn't cook, didn't bake. I mean, ramen maybe a lot, not maybe, a lot of ramen. It was what the extent of my cooking. I was like, I'd screwed up spaghetti
Oh,
multiple times,
no.
which they say is impossible, but I said, want to
Watch
see?
me. Hold my
Yeah,
beer.
watch me. Yeah, hold my, exactly. I said, oh, check this out. I innovated in that way. New mistakes in spaghetti. But anyhow, for a number of lifestyle reasons, I started trying to cook about like 2 years ago, and for the first time. And so this was the first thing I tried to make,
Mm.
and it turned out really well. Because I don't
Oh,
like. Here's my thing about cooking that I've found is because I don't like have a background in cooking. I don't have a really strong heritage or family tradition to fall back on. Like there's not a lot of like my mother made this recipe.
mm.
So I just kind of got to when I was like, I want to cook. I just went online and I was like, what sounds good? I was like, oh, I know something with strawberries, and I found this tart.
Nice.
And anyways, so yes, I cooked this or cooked, baked. That's a nomenclature thing that I don't know if I'm on the right side of, but I cooked this tart. And anyways, it turned out really good. It's super delicious and super easy to make.
Do you remember the source, the recipe?
So,
It's okay if you don't. It's all right.
no. So here's the other thing about not knowing what I'm doing about cooking is I generally just go online and feel like if there's something I'm like, I want something with quinoa, I just Google around until I find a
Yeah.
recipe. And my partner who works at New York Times Cooking, she finds this both absurd and incredibly like frustrating. And she's always like, did you get it? Did you do the Times recipe? And I'm like, no, it was just a blog. And anyways, so I don't remember exactly where this is, but if you Google strawberry cream cheese tart with pretzel crust, you'll probably find it.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. But this looks great.
It was
Um,
great.
it's a good starting pistol because a lot of these sorts of tarts are no bake or very little baking.
Mm-hmm.
The crust is basically crushing up stuff and pressing it into the pan, making a filling, covering it with stuff. Well, actually, it looks like you put the strawberries on after the bake. So it looks like it was a baked bottom,
So
and then you put the strawberries on after?
yeah, so the only actual baking that took place was for the crust.
Ah,
So
got
you
it.
make the crust first, and the recipe I used, like I've made this a couple times now, and I ended up like doubling up the amount that I made the crust because otherwise it's like hard to stick together prior to it because it's got brown
Sure.
sugar that then melts and makes it work. And then you make the fill. So you bake the crust, then you make the filling, then you put the strawberries on top, and the filling is just like cream cheese and sugar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like whipped
Um,
together.
yeah, like whipped
Delicious.
together. That was another thing is that it called for like heavy whip. This sounds so silly, but I was like so absurdly proud of myself when I hand whipped cream for the first time, like
Oh,
in a bowl.
yeah.
I
Mhm.
felt like a wizard. Like
Yes.
I turned one thing into another thing, and I've never huge achievement.
It is alchemy, though, when
It
it happens
is.
before your eyes like that.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I've been like a wedding caterer for over a decade, and one of my first jobs was like whipping the cream for dessert
Oof.
at the wedding,
Right.
and we didn't bring a stand mixer. So
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 now
I'm
you're an
like
arm wrestling
whipping.
champion?
Yes, yeah, I'm whipping cream for like 150 people, and it's hot. So
God.
yes, so it was, an uphill battle. Sisyphus, rolling my
Sisyphean.
boulder. Yeah, rolling my boulder up the hill.
How would you even do it? Can you even if it's hot? Because like I found, and again, this is just in my very limited time doing it, that like it would like not, it
doesn't whip. Yeah.
wouldn't whip until and then I have to like put it in the freezer for a second, freeze up the bowl. I was doing like a metal bowl. If it's hot, does it ever do it, or you just have to whip
This is
it?
a culinary secret. So the way to get around it, if it's hot in the room that you're in, is you get a bowl of ice and nest the whipped cream bowl inside of it, and then whip.
Oh, clever.
Yeah.
Okay. You know,
We're
you
learning
culinary
things here.
folks have it all figured out.
Not everything. Not everything. A lot of it is MacGyvering, I gotta say. Like a lot of it's just creative problem solving.
Which is funny because you didn't see him cooking a lot
No,
in the show,
he should have.
but he should have. That's exactly.
He should have. You know, the final season of MacGyver or like post epilogue should be like MacGyver at home.
The really confusing like last season where he's like, I'm not a spy anymore. I'm a chef now.
I've retired.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've retired. And
This
it's
is
just
my
like
new cover. Yeah.
it's a season long him working in a restaurant workplace drama.
Yeah.
But every episode they're like, oh no, we ran out of spoons. And he's like, we don't even need spoons.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm gonna make a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh no, the convection oven broke. Let me just put these two wires together.
Don't worry, I've broken into the power grid.
But congratulations on your first strawberry
Thank
tart.
you.
It looks great. It's a good first attempt.
Felt great.
And I can only imagine that you got better and better after every time.
I feel like I did, yes.
Cool.
I really I feel like I did. And that, you know, because that's the other thing too about being new to cooking is I don't yet like to repeat recipes because then I feel like, well, I'm not learning anything new.
Yeah, I'm also like this, actually.
Yeah, but you know, people around me that cook, they're like, no, you do the same recipe again and again. And I'm like, but
No,
why?
I don't want to.
Yeah, no, thanks.
No, thank you.
So very rarely have I done repeat recipes, but
cool.
Yeah. Also, this saying that was Alton's shtick was the MacGyvering the food.
Yes. Hi, Justice. How's it going? Yes, it was kind of Alton's shtick. He sort of fell from grace over the last couple of years, which is a little disappointing.
Because of Cutthroat Kitchen?
No, because he's politically like a little loon. He had a drunken, like, upset night, I think, that he just tweeted things in all caps, and it was just very bad news.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah.
Terrible opinions. Oops.
Oh, and you made them public. Oh.
No. I think they've been since deleted, but, you know, the food world knows now. We're like, ah, crap.
Got it. Yeah. Bummer. Well,
let's see. What journey do we want to go on next? Yeah,
go on next.
What would you like to go for here?
And we can go over any of them now. So the
let's start at the top. Here we go.
Yeah, well, so this is an onion, like a what do you call it? Reduced? No,
caramelized onions.
Caramelized. Thank you. See, this is helpful.
You got it.
A caramelized onion grilled cheese sandwich that a friend cooked and then suggested to me because he was like, oh, you can make big batches of caramelized onions and put them in this. Because that's also something I'm not great at is like, I don't like do things. I don't have ingredients sitting around because I don't, what am I going to do with it? Like, I'm not good enough to know what to do with it necessarily. So anyways, so I tried this one and again, very simple, but like came out like really like elegant restaurant quality.
I mean, look at that golden butter toast on the outside of your bread. Look at that
golden butter toast. Am I right? Like it turned out so easy.
Yeah.
Because I think too that there is a thing I'm discovering that is, you know, the concept of like really like good high quality cooked food like always felt like, oh, I can't do that. That's something like chefs
out of reach. Yeah.
And then I do it and I'm like, oh,
does it?
It's just this thing.
Yeah.
And it felt like good. So this was one of those. This recipe is on the New York Times, and this is It's just easy and delicious. Although I will say it did like that cheese is Gruyere,
Oh
um,
yeah.
and
Mhm.
I would actually replace the cheese,
Oh,
but that's just
really?
that's just me.
That's you. Okay.
I'm also notoriously like if I was to do this again, I would probably do it with like provolone. Um, but I, I'm also a very I'm notoriously unadventurous cheeseman. I
He's
like my, I like my cheeses firm and boring.
got it. Because they're a
Uh,
vehicle, you know? And you can have a lot of it when it's like that.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly right. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. And I feel like life is challenging enough. I don't need my cheeses to be giving me shit too.
I get you. I get
Um,
you.
you know,
Gruyere can be overwhelming. It has a lot of flavor. It already tastes like caramelized onions, and when you have caramelized onion, it's like double double. So some
yeah.
people to mellow it out would do exactly that, like do a little bit of the Gruyere and then add a provolone or a Havarti or like a
Oh,
sliced Swiss instead of like an artisanal Swiss. Because also Gruyere can be expensive. I
oh,
can say from firsthand experience, it can be very expensive.
yeah, I think that's right. Like that. That sounds like yeah, it's Swiss or provolone. Yeah, exactly. But and I didn't notice it until you said it. But the Gruyere is like the caramelized onions,
It is, yes.
and
It
that I
has
think. Sorry, go on.
oh yeah, it has tasting notes of allium, so like general garlic and onion flavor, as well as pineapple that gives it that little tanginess.
Really?
Yeah, it's a very complex cheese. It's a milk in Switzerland in that specific area that's very, very flavorful.
Wow, fast. Okay. I
Yeah,
didn't know.
yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. Look, I'm not trying to disparage Gruyere.
Oh, of course
I
not.
think all food is valid. But for my own purposes, I'm gonna go with someone more boring, Mr. Provolone.
Yeah, Justice also agrees. I enjoy my cheese firm and lots. Yes,
Yes,
I
firm and
agree.
light. That is 100% correct.
Lots of it. Lots of it. Yum. Well, this is great. It looks amazing. Lovely red onion. Lovely and purple. What
I think if I remember correctly, I switched to red onion. I think the recipe called for regular onion, maybe. But
oh,
oh,
I am a fan of tots.
oh boy. So this is me and my partner was all last summer. This was me and my partner's like go-to dinner, which was brats and tots. Um,
I love
which
that.
we came up with because it rhymed. But so it started because we wanted to make these tater tots, right? So these tater tots are something we reverse engineered from something we ordered from a restaurant. I can't remember. So
Are they okonomiyaki tots?
yes. And so they've got okonome sauce, or did I say that correctly?
Mhm.
Yes, okonome sauce. They've got Kewpie mayo and bonito flakes and
Yeah.
green onions or chives on top.
Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh!
I'm into
Oh
it.
my gosh, they are so good. I mean, the tots are regular. That's all you want them to be.
Yeah.
Just your oven tots. But you put that sauce on them, and they turn into this like insane, terrific flavor profile. Oh my god, they're so good. And then I didn't know what to pair with it, but brats rhymed with tots, and so I so I did
This
that.
tracks.
This this is how they do it, right?
Yeah.
This is
This is how
how
all menus are formed. This is how Babby is formed. It
yeah,
is
this is
because
how
it's
Babby is
rhymes.
formed.
This is your brother, Dylan,
Yeah.
and
Hey.
Ian and Aaron or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Dylan, Dyler, and
Yeah, there
Dakota.
you go. Yeah, there you go.
They I, look. I know it's yeah. I don't know if this is how they make menus by rhyme, but it did work out. They're a great combo, and the brats are nothing too special. It's like I think this time I've like played around to try and like make them something a little more interesting. But what I've found with sausage and brats, and maybe I'm wrong about this or just don't know enough to do it, but like they all stand on their own. Like they
Yes.
just kind of like you can't really mess with them too much because the 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 sausage itself takes over the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, I've learned this. I recently started the hot dog program at Wonderville, which is a bar in Bushwick.
I see you tweet about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the hot dogs are Brooklyn cured, which is a great local brand, and I've just kept it to 2 or 3 toppings. Like, I don't really go past that because the hot dog is already so delicious. I don't really need to add
Yeah.
too much more. So yeah, you're on the right track. Is this mustard the one that comes in the little mini barrel?
You really got my number today. Yeah.
This is the Polish mustard.
Yeah, it's
I love that mustard.
it's so good. It's the perfect
I
mustard.
know that texture. I was like looking at it and I was like, I know this mustard.
It is 100% that mustard. And that is, I again don't know the name of it, but it comes in a barrel.
It's
And you
the
better
little
believe I bought
Polish
it because it was
barrel,
in a
yeah.
little barrel. And in my head, that is what I associated with like sausages, was that sort of beer hall thing. And I was like, oh, so of course that's what this is meant to communicate
Perfect.
to me
I love
on the
it.
shelf.
I love
And it
it.
worked. But yeah, so that combo, it's a great, fun, relatively easy dinner because you can make that okanome sauce, which I'm now also in love with, and just like keep it around.
Yes.
And
It's good on
also,
omelets.
oh my God, I didn't even think of that. What?
Oh.
Knocking me out. That's so good. Yeah. Okay. And I would also say that, and this is, again, if I'm saying anything, it's like just like a known thing. I apologize because I'm new to this, but
No.
bonito flakes, just have them around. How did I not know about this? If you like fish flavors, which I do, I would put bonito flakes on everything.
Yeah. Put it on fries.
Yeah.
It's a really easy starter for dashi stock, which I use a lot for making miso soup at home. Because once you have dashi stock, it's like miso paste and scallions and a little bit of tofu, and you're like, that's it.
Yeah, no, I'm there.
Wow, I'm there. But I highly endorse the bonito flakes in the pantry.
Bonito flakes.
Yeah,
they're so good.
and when
that
you
used to
put
be
them,
my
sorry, go ahead.
no. Oh, I was just gonna like. So my thing for a long time when I started cooking is I really love cilantro. And it's like I'm on this quest to like, can I, like, my question with any recipe is, can I put cilantro in it? And what can I replace? And it's resulted in some really unfortunate experiments.
Oh, no.
Even if you like cilantro, turns out you can't just replace things in recipes with it. But sometimes you can.
Yeah.
Because I've had a long theory that parsley is just like boring cilantro.
Yeah.
And I don't like, anytime a recipe calls for parsley, I'm like, I want to replace it with cilantro.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's my cilantro?
Just why would you, if you had the choice, why would parsley's such a snooze fest.
I agree.
But now bonito flakes are in that same category. I would.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I love this for you.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I hope there are people watching your stream that, like me, are not that have like long not known the wonders of cooking. But it's because what, another thing, and I'm sorry if I'm talking too much, but
I love it.
But is like the joy that comes from like cooking for someone, which I've never like really experienced. I barely cook for myself. But like now I make like dinners for me and my partner, and it's just the best. It feels so good to create these things.
Yeah.
Like there's the emotional response is something I didn't expect because I always viewed it as a chore.
I get you. Yeah. A lot of the time I would say if I'm cooking for myself, I mess it up a lot because I'm not putting that same level of care.
Yeah.
When I'm cooking for other people or for like clients. So it always confuses me. I think it's because I get distracted and I'm like, oh, I could do all these other things in my house. And I end up burning my toast.
Yeah, they're just
so
not,
silly.
It just feels like, why would I just, maybe it's a self-care thing. I just I don't think about spending that much time and effort about cooking for myself. And I'm like,
Yes. Yeah, it has been a hurdle, but now decently cook for myself. But now in my mindset, when I make any food, it's more that I'm making a full batch so that maybe I could give the rest of it to someone else or like split it with my partner. So so I'm like, ooh, I'm just gonna bring chicken tacos over to this person's house whenever I see them next.
See, that's
Um,
great. Yeah.
yeah. But yes,
It's
I enjoy cooking for others very, very much.
Is this
Uh,
the joy of cooking that they're always talking about?
yes, this fabled joy of cooking they've written many books
That I keep
about.
hearing about?
Ooh, what
Okay. Let's talk about this, shall we?
is this beautiful
Also,
place?
now that I'm seeing all these in order, I have to apologize for my, again, very boring dinnerware, but
No,
uh
this looks great.
IKEA works. But this is another similar. We're getting rid of brats and tots. We've eaten it too much, so we moved over to this is pickle soup, and the just a standard soft pretzel, but the pickle soup's the star of this one.
Zupa ogórkowa is what it's called.
Oh, really? Is that the Polish
Yes.
name for it? Yes.
I
Okay.
live in Greenpoint, so
Oh, great. Well, where I first had Polish soup, at the Atlas Obscura offices, used to be in Greenpoint. And I would
yeah.
go to the Garden, which is the deli there in Greenpoint. Now it's something else, but it was the Garden for a long time. And they
Mhm.
always had great soups. And I notoriously am a big soup fan.
I
Love soup.
love this particular soup, yes.
Yes, and they had pickle soup. I'd never heard of it, and I tried it and just loved it. And so tried to make it for myself. And it's one of those things that's so hard to sell people on when you're like,
Yes.
you say pickle soup, and they're like, "So it's what? You just like broth or like hot brine? Like what are you talking about?" But it's like a cream soup, and it's
Yes.
so good, and it's very it's very comfort food, like very peasant food. It's just like root vegetables and pickles.
And the sausage, did you add sausage to yours?
I did not. Mine's
Some
vegetarian.
people do sausage.
Really?
Yeah, like kielbasa.
Oh, yum. I've never
Yeah.
had it with any meat at all, but that sounds great.
Mhm. Yeah, so the thing that people, people are like, "Oh no, it's going to taste like all pickles." But what you need to know, folks who have not tried this recipe, is that vinegars, when you cook them, it mellows out. It really
What
absorbs
is that?
all that fat and starch from the potatoes and evens out. So it actually tastes creamy and sweet a little bit with that like pickle tang, but not a lot. So it's
Mhm.
actually very, very comforting.
It's so comforting. It's so good. Like, even if you're not like a huge pickle fan, like it doesn't it tastes like there is a pickle taste, like you're saying. But yeah, it's not as frightening as the
As a
headline of
name,
pickle
yeah,
soup would
exactly.
be. And in the chat, thank you. Looks great. I appreciate
Yeah,
that. Come
Justice.
on now.
Yeah, look at that.
Okay,
Look at
come
that.
on.
Thanks,
Come on.
Justice.
I'll take it.
And no extra compliment because Justice is a cook. So
Shucks. Oh, well, thank you, Justice.
hey,
Don't make me
Schmaz.
blush. Jeez.
Good to see you,
Hello.
Schmaz. How's it going? We're talking about Polish pickle soup. Have you had this yet? Please tell us. Chime in the chat if you've had Polish pickle soup or would be willing to try. Um,
Yeah,
the first place that I encountered it was at Karshma on Greenpoint Avenue,
I've
which is
had it
a
there.
that one
Mhm.
has meat in it.
Oh,
Uh,
does it?
yes.
Okay. That I have had with me.
And then I have a couple Polish friends who told me about it and like gave me some tips. Um, but yeah, it this looks like a great bowl, especially with fresh AF dill on top.
That's what I asked for when I went into the grocery store. I'm like, "Do you have any dill? But I want it fresh
Yes,
AF."
fresh AF.
Uh, and
I see that you have a proclivity for pretzels.
I mean, sure. So I do love pretzels. I mean, who
Uh-huh.
doesn't? Who doesn't love a pretzel? I also, I've been living in New York for like 16 years. I love a street cart,
Ooh.
giant pretzel.
Mm.
Uh, th- you know, uh, Make it 3 days old. I love it.
Yeah, the extra crunch on it, the
Yeah,
extra
it's a
crustiness.
little doughy and kind of like it's like the outside's a little like it's got a tacky sort of texture. I love it. But yeah, I do love pretzels. The other thing is like, sometimes because of the way that I like devise what I'm going to cook, I get really excited about one thing and then realize a meal is not one thing. And
Yes.
then get into like, oh, what do I have to add to this? So so it's like, you'll notice a lot of my recipes or in the meals that I've cooked like this, it's like one thing that takes a lot of effort, like pickle soup, and then something where I'm like, okay, then I heat up this pretzel and
Yeah.
squirt some stuff, or like brats and tots. It's like, okay, make this Greek sauce for the tots, and then I don't know, bratwurst too.
Love it.
But yes, so that's sort of that's how that gets there. But it kind of works,
It
I
works.
think.
I love
And
this.
pretzels go with everything.
They do. I mean, yeah, I will eat a pretzel all the time. I love that.
Yeah. And big recommend for grocery store freezer aisle giant super pretzels. They're cheap. They're easy to make.
Cool.
Hey, just I'm not a fancy ingredient type.
I love this. Schmas in the chat says, I have so many dill pickles I made last summer and now I have an idea what to do with them. Yes. Let us know how that Polish pickle soup goes. So
Yes,
cool.
Please. It's so good.
What are these lovelies?
Okay, so also baking is a thing I've been trying because again, when you just get into cooking, you don't really have any like goal or anything.
Yeah.
Everything seems equally as easy or hard as anything else. So I don't, ever. I'm just like, I want this thing, and then I try and make it.
Mm-hmm.
And the fun thing about that is that I found that largely you can kind of do anything.
Yes.
Anyhow, so these are cinnamon and peach cookies.
Peach.
It's peach. I wanted a peach cookie. And I don't know why. And so I looked up a recipe, and this is the one I found. Again, I don't know where I got it.
Cool.
But yeah, it's got peach in it. They were pretty good. I discovered the difficulties of baking with watery
Yes.
Pieces.
Yes.
Yeah, athletic peach cookies. Like, because the tastes go together. It's like a gingery cookie, or not gingery, like a cinnamony spicy.
It's got warm tones.
Warm tone. Thank you. Yes. Warm tones, very warm tones, very autumnal.
Yes.
Tones. And then the peach, fresh peaches. Which is funny. I've tried to make something else with canned peaches. This was another good lesson I learned. There's a big, this all sounds so obvious, but at the time did not seem obvious to me. Canned peaches are way different than fresh peaches.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Texturally. Yeah.
Texturally.
And chemically.
Yeah. In that the canned peaches are all chemicals.
Yeah.
And the fresh ones are not. Well, I guess we're all chemicals if you get far enough down, but anyhow, these cookies, they were pretty good. I've since, I think, cooked cookies I'm happier with.
Sure.
But I like trying to make cookies that have, I like things with like berry or fruit stuff in them. Because I'm, internally I'm like a child and I want everything to be candy. And so I like want things with berries and peaches and things. So I wanted peach cookies. But yeah, it's really hard to strike a balance of like to bake things with this much water content.
Yeah.
It really makes it weird.
Yeah, you got to move fast, or you have to drain them off thoroughly before you mix them in, or you toss them in flour so it doesn't get too sticky, or there's a lot of ways to get around it. But you don't typically see peach cookies because of this reason. But it looks like these turned out, so
they turned out okay. I mean, the biggest problem I found, like I think I got the texture right. Biggest problem I found is that the water, like the flavor was sort of dim. I don't know what the term is. The flavor was a little, they weren't as bright as I wanted them to be. Like they weren't as flavorful as I wanted them to be. And I think it had to do because the peaches sort of like watered up the batter.
I see. I mean, dim is a great word for that. I actually don't hear it that often in terms of cooking, but like we should use it. I like it.
It was a dim, like it was like a light bulb that's not shining very bright, except in my mouth.
Ooh, it's already 6. Let's
Oh,
let's
sorry.
just
Yeah.
highlight some of these so that we can get into more discussion with the chat. What are these real quick?
More successful berry cookies. I've
Berry
actually cooked these a
cookies.
couple times. So these are lemon blueberry cookies with like fresh blueberries and
Ooh,
a lemon glaze on them, and they're
cute.
I think the cookie is just lemon. Anyways, these turned out really great
Awesome.
because there's a little lemon in the cookie itself, and then the glaze has like a really sharp lemon in it, and with the blueberry.
I've made scones with this exact flavor profile before.
Oh yeah,
So I know that it tastes good.
lemon and
Now
blueberry.
I want to do cookie format now.
Uh, this is another Google recipe. That's what I'm just going to call them.
Sure.
They're Google recipes.
They're all Google
Uh,
recipes.
they're all Google recipes. This was, I was watching the Great British Bake Off, and once again was like,
Ooh.
I can do that, and decided that I was going to make milfoil,
Yeah.
raspberry milfoil, and so I
Lovely.
went and got some pre-made pastry dough
It's the
because
way to
making it
go.
is insane. I looked up how to make it, and I was like,
It's so involved.
it's never gonna happen.
It's so involved.
Yeah, sorry, I already have a job.
Yeah.
Um, and so I just bought some like pastry dough and made these. Again, they turned out okay, dim flavor.
Mm.
Which had to do, I think. Oh, you know what it was? It's because there's a filling that is an egg-based custard. I'd never made a custard before, and I found it a delicate thing to get right because I think I cooked the eggs too much.
Ah, yes. Tempering is what
Tempering,
the skill is required in
yes, the
custard
skill that I do
making.
not have.
It takes practice, but yeah, essentially tempering for folks who don't know is when you have a hot substance like a custard that you're making. The way that you incorporate the eggs is to mix the eggs separately, the egg yolks separately in another bowl. You add like a cup of the hot liquid to the eggs, whisk that together, and then lower the heat all the way back down for the custard, and then slowly whisk that egg mixture into the rest of the custard so that you don't curdle or cook the eggs. Um,
Yeah, it's difficult. I found, and so yeah, I think I cooked the eggs a bit, but they looked okay.
yeah, I mean these look great,
Thank you.
but now you know
Now I know.
how you would improve it next time.
Yeah, Schmoss is saying one day he wants to just to say you did it. That's where I'm at. Is like I was like, I want to just try it.
You get your big ass block of cold ass butter and beat it to hell with a rolling pin. It's a thing. I've watched so many videos of it. Justice says pastry dough is why we have grandmothers. Bless. True. And then finally, this lovely thing.
So
What is
this is
that?
exactly my speed.
Ah,
Sheet pan dinners are my wheelhouse. I've
love
decided.
it.
This is again pretty basic. This is Brussels sprouts and sausages, Italian sausages. This was a recipe I again found on the Times, on the New York Times Cooking. And it's, again, very simple. It's Brussels sprouts. I threw in some carrots and some potatoes, which were not
Mm,
called for, and an onion, just to sort of bring the whole thing together.
yeah.
And that in the bowl there is slab bacon, and then added some
Woohoo!
bacon bits just to really give it a slightly different thing. I'm not huge on I'm not one of those guys who's just like add bacon to everything, all bacon salt and bacon flavor. But it's like good here and there.
Yeah. I
Um,
actually worked on a book called Sheet Pan Chicken. If you're interested
oh,
in this format,
oh boy.
I had a recipe in there for a tinola chicken, which is like ginger and green papaya.
Oh my
So
gosh.
in the Philippines we have a stew that is really soft chicken and green papaya that kind of acts like potato. So I
Mm.
converted it into a roast, like a flattened chicken style sheet pan dinner, and
Ooh,
the unripe green papaya roasts up just like potatoes. It's awesome.
really?
Yes.
Is papaya not sweet?
Green papaya is not.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, I learned a new thing.
Yes, you did. Green papaya is the basis of a lot of savory salads in like Thai and Vietnamese cooking and Lao. And in the Philippines, we use it as a pickle, but you can
Oh.
also use it as like a stew carb, just how
Hmm.
you are doing these red potatoes in this pan. You can also do that with peeled green papaya.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that sounds delicious. I haven't
Cool.
branched out with a lot of vegetables. I think the last one I tried to do something with turnips and it didn't turn out, and I didn't try again. Uh, anyhow, but yeah, papaya sounds delicious.
Yeah. I stopped sharing my screen so you could see our big dumb faces. I forgot to do this earlier, but I have some background music we're gonna put on. Oh, we're gonna turn it down. There we go. There we go. Got some background music. I should have had it on this whole time. Eric, thanks for sending in those photos. I love seeing things that you have going on in your kitchen.
I love sharing them with you. Again, it's a really fun journey to be on. But again, I feel both. It's like fun, but I also feel dumb all the time. So it's fun to share it.
Oh, I didn't realize we have some comments here in the chat. Justice has had to go in at like 3 a.m. to do phyllo dough. Oh my god. It was a one-off thing. I did have a Turkish metalhead and a lot of
Put them to work.
Awesome.
Yeah, give
Love it.
them a project. They'll just go.
LT has a question. Speaking of baking, have you been to Peter Pan in Brooklyn? Yes, I have. Yeah. I saw your face light up when you read that question.
I love Peter Pan. Who doesn't love Peter Pan?
It's
Also,
so
you mean where Mary Jane works?
What?
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
Oh.
I didn't watch it yet.
Spoiler alert. That's the biggest spoiler in the movie.
That's
is that
funny.
Mary Jane works at Peter Pan Donuts.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's when I saw it, me and my partner were like, oh no. Oh.
Unrealistic though, because every employee there is Polish.
Yes. It is. I mean, it's all moved around, but you can tell it's Peter Pan Donuts.
I love that. My goodness. So we had been talking at the very beginning of the stream about One Piece, and I just wanted to pull up the book because it is Sanji's birthday today.
Yay! Happy birthday, Sanji, the best chef and sex creep on the ocean.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Somebody had asked me on another stream, who is your favorite Straw Hat? And I was really conflicted about it because, I'm a chef and I'm like, ooh, I love, I love all the stuff Sanji's doing. And then I got later into the series and I'm like, who is this trash bag? What happened to my Sanji? Who is this trash bag?
It's a tough thing to reconcile. And it's another, like, it is a character trope that I've found runs through so much anime that I don't
love
like
it.
It's a cultural thing that I don't know. I don't love it. Oh, and don't worry, Athletic LT. My guess is there will be
going to keep talking about it. We did talk about some, but we will happily talk about more. And yeah, so the main, I guess, conversation that we wanted to have was about like fictional and fantasy food. And you mentioned when you reached out to me about this, we sort of touched on it earlier, but cooking is kindness that you saw in One Piece and experienced yourself as you made food for other people. I love that. And I noticed that it's such a big, in real life and in fiction, it's such a bridge.
Yeah.
Between factions, between people who don't know anything about each other. And it's so cool to watch. Like, it makes me happy. It makes me so happy.
Absolutely. There's to bring it to One Piece specifically, like the introduction of Sanji in the beginning, like when he's on the floating island Baratie, and he like he's just this stoic, cook who's like, everyone eat, like if they're hungry, I must feed them. Yeah. And you have this starving guy, and that's his whole thing, is he will feed you if you're starving.
Feed anybody, no matter who you are.
Exactly. And it's just such a direct, like such a, such a clear sort of message and feeling about like the way that food can like heal that I'm not sure I'd ever really experienced in fiction before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really incredibly done. I mean, especially in the context of such a wild show.
Yeah. Who knew that this would be a priority? Like, it's very funny, like, from the very beginning, Luffy is like, "I need I need a chef, I need a musician, I need a, not the important things like a navigator or a first mate, but, like, he's like,
Yeah.
"I just need these things, I need a ship doctor, I need a shipwright." So he's just been looking for these, happens to stumble into these people in his travels.
And like all throughout the world of One Piece, right? Like there is like so much allusion to how important food is to everybody, you know, like when they re-meet Hachi, later on a little bit, and he's successful because he's running his little food cart.
Yeah, takoyaki cart.
Yes, little takoyaki cart. Like,
okay, don't you think that's a little fucked up though? That Hachi is an octopus person and serving fried octopus dough pancake balls.
Okay, like, hear me out. Yes. Yes, it is. But like, you know what's never discussed though? So like you have fish, you have fish people in the world, but then you also have fish. So like, but like, what is the view? They never talk about how do fish people view, what is their relationship to like wild fish and wild sea life, right? Is it like, would the equivalent be like us eating a higher primate?
I don't know.
I don't either. I'm just, this is One Piece philosophy in action.
I know that the other things that they've eaten at Fishman Island are like kelp and what are the really giant
sea kings?
The sea kings. So they definitely eat sea king steak.
Yeah.
So that's definitely like a larger. I wouldn't lump that in with fish. I don't know.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, again, it's one of these things that you best sometimes not to think about. Sort of like this. A similar conversation happens around the Pokemon universe, I think. Like, do they eat them? You know.
I mean, Justice makes a good point. I mean, we eat mammals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I think it's this. Well, it's like a cultural argument. I think you could talk about. We have the same view of like we don't eat horses in the West, like
right.
or like in America, right? Like, but horse meat in Canada is pretty standard, fine. You know. So it's all in how it's viewed, I guess. Like the only real taboos that we have worldwide are against like sapiens, like, you know, like eating creatures that have a higher sapiens. I don't know. This is a big conversation.
I don't know. It's a very big conversation. That is one thing I just wanted to bring it up, that Hachi is selling octopus takoyaki.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, sorry, Justice.
Getting veganized in real time here.
Like I didn't come here to radicalize. I will. I'm not afraid of it.
It just happened. Yeah, so we were talking about kind of fantastical food in general.
Yes.
One Piece is, a body of work that we have a lot of examples from. Like, I mean, I have a whole book that like I got to work on, which was very, very exciting.
Yes.
And yeah, like there are a lot of moments. Like one of my favorite moments, I forget which arc it was between, but it was kind of like a rest period where they were set up on a beach and Sanji set up like a teppanyaki like on the beach. So just this open grill of skewers that people would just grab. And I was like, I want to do that in real life. That looks like so much fun.
Absolutely. They're always bonding over food or like their travails with food. Remember when Luffy becomes the cook for like one time and he's like, no, I'm going to do this. And when Sanji's, I think when he leaves them to go to Whole Cake.
Yeah.
And he makes everybody sick.
Yes.
You know, like all of that. Whenever they like they have to have a toast to each other, you know, whenever they talk like, and the depictions of food in One Piece are so good.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's art. Like, it's so pretty.
It makes me so
very tantalizing. Makes you hungry.
Absolutely. And it's it's like this world of like rubber boys and all this, like wild body craziness and shapes and forms and things. And a lot of them are so sketchy. And then it'll like cut to like something like a bento box that Sanji made. And it looks like the most deliciously rendered thing.
It's got like a star. Ting.
Yeah.
Shabazz has a question. Has anyone ever watched Silver Spoon? It's a great farming food slice of life anime that's very nice, but addresses where meat comes from in some episodes that are very interesting. Oh, I hadn't heard that. I will bookmark it myself. Ooh.
Silver Spoon, that does sound good. That's excuse me. Yeah, I haven't watched that one.
And yeah, that does sound like a great setup. Any way to get people to grab food with their hands is good in my book. Agreed. I grew up with a lot of Kamayan style in the Philippines, which is spreading out a big old banana leaf on the table.
Oh, okay.
Piling a bunch of rice and then putting all your proteins over it, and then people can just grab stuff with their hands and eat. That's something that has been in my family for a very long time. People still do it. There's an experience you can have, I believe, at Jeepney. Oh wait, Jeepney closed. Shoot.
Oh.
Jeepney was a restaurant in the East Village. Totally slipped my mind that it closed. But yeah, there was a Filipino place in the city where you could do that. But now it's more of like a catering thing, like big special event thing that you could do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really fun if you ever get to experience it once in your life.
I feel like I've seen it, but I've never. That sounds great.
You had mentioned which fiction. Okay, we have a question for the chat. What fictional franchise has the most appealing food? And Eric, you have an answer for this already.
I forgot what I put in there, but I think it was Final Fantasy 15.
Yes, that's what you put.
Okay, yeah. There is, like, I like all manner of nerd things, and I'm always fascinated by the food, right? Like, but some things like, Star Trek, which is my favorite franchise of all time, like their food is odd.
Yeah, I actually have the Star Trek cookbook in here somewhere.
Do you? So you had to make gach.
I'm gonna grab it really quick. Please continue.
Yes, of course. But then, I think it's improved. But then you look, I don't know if anyone's played Final Fantasy 15, but there's a whole, like, cooking is a big part of it. Oh my God, Neelix! Hey, buddy! Look at that ding dong. Yeah, Neelix is cooking. Often it looked not great. But Final Fantasy 15, and also, Pokemon has appealing food. Yes, Adult Swim guys, seriously.
Cooking, yeah.
Rock's cooking looks so good. And again, there is at some point they eat Slowpoke tail. So they're eating at least one species of Pokemon.
Oh, good
What
Lord.
About the others?
Oh my
This is what I'm asking. And is it like, is it only the non-humanoid ones? Like, are people eating Mr. Mimes?
Mr. Mimes!
I'm just saying. I don't know.
Imagine Mr. Mimes' eyes staring at you.
Yeah, exactly. Like on a spit or something. Look,
at you.
Hey, I'm just asking questions here. But they're canonically meat. See, look, exactly.
That's awful.
Mr. Mime, like, what you want are the shoulders, those round mime shoulders.
Ooh.
Yeah, what we'll be serving tonight is mime shoulder.
Justice, a lot of people do mention Redwall. Here is it. A lot of people do mention Redwall when we talk about fantastical food. I actually have never read it myself. Did you read that when you were younger?
Many, many years ago. I know that there was a lot of food. So this is another thing, because Redwall is really big on this. Game of Thrones has a lot of very visceral food.
I was going to say. I'm going to say mine. If I really had to bet on one, it is the descriptions of the feasts in Game of Thrones, especially the very first scene with Baratheon and Ned Stark. Like, incredible, because they're in the middle of the field, just the two of them eating this feast. And I'm like, bro. He's going all out on this meal, A, because this is what he eats all the time, and B, he's asking to be Hand of the King. Like, homie, this is like when me and one other person go to a Chinese restaurant and order 10 things,
Yeah.
When we're going
Yeah.
home with like 2 grocery bags full of to go. Like that's what it's like.
Yeah, absolutely. The funny thing is, I've always been annoyed by like food when it's described in fantasy books. Because again, like I've always struggled with having this connection with it, but I think like more recently, like I get it. Like, tell me about how that quail is glazed. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh.
Yeah.
Say that
Oh,
again.
hello. Wait, there were plums?
Love to hang out with my friends and give myself gout. I mean, yeah. It is an exorbitant amount of people for very little. uh, wait, I'm gonna rewind. There was a question up here from Adult Swim guy. When I watched Food Wars, I was inspired to get a job as a sous
Oh.
chef. It was fun as heck. Does food anime invigorate either of you to do passionate, goal-oriented cooking? And the answer is yes, for me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say yes too. I think that when I see, and again, I really pretty much most of the only anime I watch is One Piece, but when I see like beautiful food in One Piece or other like in or Final Fantasy 15 or something like that, the thing it inspires in me most is like, how do I make my food look good?
Mm.
Like
Mhm.
it really like rings that bell in my head about like what's the old saw, you eat with your eyes before you eat with your mouth or whatever.
Mhm.
um but it really inspires me to make my food artful.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually had a stream about this with my friend Chris Hernandez. If folks want to go back into the archive and check it out, we talked about food and design and what makes an Instagram photo successful, like what principles are people harnessing that get them all those likes, and like how does that happen? So it's a very enlightening conversation if folks are curious about it. One more question here. Have either of you played Metal Gear Solid 3? I have not.
I have.
Oh, you have?
And I know exactly what he's talking about.
Oh,
And hilariously, like, yeah, the MREs are the only thing that'll make solid snake vomit.
that's
Um,
funny.
yeah, that's another. I think that might be one of the first games where I really messed with like a cooking mechanic. I can't remember exactly what the meals look like in that.
Mm,
Uh, but I do. Wait, to talk to something just occurred to me to talk about the food in Final Fantasy 15 really quick, which
mm-hmm.
if anyone's played it or Google what it looks like, it just occurred to me that would have I can't help but think that had to do with like the rising trend of like Instagram food photography and like them being like, we're gonna make Instagrammable like video game food.
Because now you can do screen shares of the things you're playing.
Yes.
So invariably are going to get those Instagram likes for the fake food in the game. It's a whole
Yeah.
thing. It's a whole
I
thing.
do not doubt it, not for a second. But they clearly like they spent so much, like they're so detailed. They're
Mm-hmm.
so like, and they look so realistic and just insane, like
Mm.
insanely good. Oh, and then there's
Uh,
also cup noodles,
yes,
like
we
brand name
love
cup
cup noodle.
noodles.
We
Like
love cup
they're
noodle.
yeah, no, I mean I love a cup noodle too. It's a very hilarious product placement in the game though, like where there's like a cup noodle truck and you go on a quest to like create the best cup noodle. You have to get like meat
Oh,
for it.
that's funny.
Fantasy meat.
Add-ons. That is something that I do a lot. Is zhuzh up my cup noodles.
Oh,
Add chopped chicken or add chili oil to it, or like fresh scallions. It's really great. Um,
yes.
but other cooking mechanics in games, like I would say, the Breath of the Wild cooking is cute, but you don't get to see a lot of the
Mm,
food. It's like an item avatar. It's not anything that you
okay.
dig into. Skyrim's is like fine. So it's Fallout 4 is like gross, a
Yeah,
post-apocalyptic like
right.
rat meat and soda that's been buried for 50 years.
Yeah, yeah. And I almost never mess with food mechanics. Well, sometimes in video games. Again, Final Fantasy 15, they make it a really big part of like advancement and things.
That's
But
cool.
And then Justice was mentioning the screenshotting their minced cabbage with minced cabbage with minced cabbage. Yeah, you should. Dwarf Fortress is like a pixel game, essentially. I haven't played it in a lot of years. But yeah, we've come a long way.
Yes, for sure. For sure. I actually have a link that if folks are curious about this, I talk about fantasy foods on a podcast called Imaginary Worlds. And they actually talk to one of the authors that I quote in there. I love a series called The Lies of Locke Lamora. It's like a fantasy novel. Yeah. And so I recreated one of the dishes, which was sausages and pears in oil. And I have the recipe there on the podcast website if folks want to cook it. It's great. But yeah, I love talking about. Oh, you have the book right there, The Gentleman Bastards. I love the Gentleman Bastards series. Yeah. It's very good. But folks, I think we gotta wrap it up a little bit. Eric, do you have a couple more minutes to do?
Sure, yeah.
A chopped
let's
segment?
Do a chopped. Let's do a chopped segment. I'm sorry if I took too much time.
No, just the right amount of time. It's great. I love it when we're able to like just get into a topic. Folks, if you're new to the chat, let's pretend we're on Chopped. If you don't know this TV show, that means we have a fictional basket with 4 mystery ingredients in it, and chefs have to use them to make a dish. So there are no wrong answers. You in the chat can shout out the first 4 ingredients. Those are going to be the ones that we use. The purpose of the exercise is just think about how far your ingredients can go, maybe inspire you for your next meal. Just feel free to just start combining 2, 3, or all 4 of the ingredients. Just no pressure. Imagine you have all the tools and time that you need. Just remember, feature the stuff in the basket. Let's go. Okay. Dill pickles, number 1. A whole fresh chicken. All right. We're on a
live or not alive?
I think not alive.
Okay. I'm just trying to get clarification here. I don't know.
LT, yes, the Binging with Babish book has a few anime foods for sure. Does anyone else have 2 more ingredients? How would you mash up so far dill pickles and a fresh chicken?
So far? Yeah, well, what else? When we eat it, we'll be dead.
Yes. Let's see. I would stuff the pickles inside the chicken.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking too,
Roast
right?
it.
Like would that work? Here's a cooking question.
Yes.
Would it work for you to have a whole fresh chicken, like hollowed out? There's probably a cooking term for that, but hollowed out chicken. And then you stick like a pickle or 2 in it, and then you just like cook it. Would the brine like infuse in the chicken?
No, it will go down. It will drip out. But you can use those pan juices to make a gravy.
Yeah. Okay.
Shmas has the right idea here. You can brine the chicken in the pickle juice. Instead of making your own brine, you could use pickle brine.
Clever.
Yes. You know what I would do? I would cut the pickles super, super thin and then like loosen the skin and stuff the pickle slices under the chicken skin so that it'll make the breast very, very soft. As it
All right, I'm gonna go wild. I just had a wild idea.
Please go for it.
And I'm gonna add a couple more ingredients. We can do that, right?
Yes, you can.
Still in the spirit of the game. Yeah, in Chopped they do. They go to the pantry. They have a pantry. Okay.
They have a pantry,
so
yeah.
I would go. Am I correct in there is a Thai type of salad called a larb gai? Is that right?
Yes.
Right. I would make that with chicken bit. Mince up the chicken and the pickle.
Oh.
Make yourself a larb gai, or is it larb gai? Am I saying that? A
larb
salad.
I think larb in general is the umbrella term.
That's what I'm trying to talk about. Make a larb salad with the minced chicken and little bits of pickle. Make sure you drain it so that it's not too pickly.
Right.
But that you have like a little like briny bite.
I love that. And then you get your little lettuce cups. And some sauce or like some Thai chilies or something like that.
Some Thai chili, maybe a little like thinly sliced cabbage.
Yeah. Ooh, nice. Very nice. I love that. Okay. What if we just had a fried chicken? fried chicken tender basket and just also had some fried pickles in there. Like
Oh
a
yeah,
cornmeal coating on both. It's just
yeah.
you just grabbing the two things. You got pickle chip and the chicken tendy. I love my chicken tendies.
That's amazing. That's like that sounds like a state fair special.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. We can use the dill pickle brine to make a mayo or a tartar sauce for the dip. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you mix pickle brine with cream things?
Yes, you can. Mm-hmm. It
Mm.
may curdle straight up milk, but if you agitate it, it will emulsify. So, like heavy cream, you
I
could
have been
technically.
described as highly agitating.
Yes. You gotta whisk it in there.
Right.
But a little bit of pickle brine, and then emulsifying with some egg yolk, and then little droplets of olive oil. We could make a like dill pickle aioli.
Oh
Add,
yeah.
yeah, add some paprika, make it smoky, and that's our dip.
And you know, the Justice is saying a chicken tender stirred pickleback,
I
which
love
I
it.
know might have meant as a joke, but does bring to mind like we can make a Bloody Mary. You make a
Yes.
Bloody Mary with it.
Oh, Bloody Mary
You
with
put
a chicken
some like some chicken tendies in it and some pickles. Make one of those like it's like half a meal on
I'm all
the in
about
the
it.
rim of the glass. Yes,
I love
yes,
it when you have to eat a drink.
yeah, me too.
Folks, if you
Here's
have more ideas, please do tweet them to me. My Instagram and Twitter are Randwiches. I think we need to start closing up today. Let's catch up here. This last thing from Schmas. There's a Korean dish called pa chicken, which is like a whole fried chicken with tons of sliced scallions on top. You can make a dill pickle seasoning in the breading and then toss the scallions with sliced pickles for a twist on the classic. Damn, Schmas! Teaching
yeah,
me more things about chicken. I love that. That's so cool.
sliced scallions. I love. I'll put
I'm,
that scallions are another of my anything things. I'll put those on anything.
oh, look, we're bringing it back. Polish
Mm.
dill pickle soup with chicken this time. Good idea.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Good idea. We're going to use that chicken carcass to make a good broth. Shred the chicken. Get that pickle in the soup. Get some potatoes. Very nice. Sounds good. I love it. Awesome. Well, Eric, this has been such a pleasure and the first time meeting you.
Yeah, I know. Well, thank you so much for having me on Sight Unseen or Twitter Scene Only. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I just got so excited about talking about food.
I put your Twitter account here, folks. If you want to follow Eric, here is Eric's account.
Please
Um,
do.
yeah.
Please
And
do.
is there anything you want to tell the folks before we sign off?
I would. Let's see. I would say.
Things that you do, project you're promoting,
Yes, of
anything?
course. Not just like philosophical advice. I would say that follow me on Twitter. I've got some writing projects that are coming up pretty soon that will probably be announced there that are really exciting. You can also check me out. I've got a lot of my work on atlasobscura.com and also do a lot of events with them, and so you can see me more there. But really, the best place to see what I do is on Twitter at the moment.
Yeah.
And so right there, go there and follow.
Awesome.
It's half dumb nonsense jokes and half real projects. So
We love it. We love it. Folks, stay tuned on the stream next for the Monterey Bay Aquarium. We're going to raid their stream right now, get some relaxing jellyfish time in your evening. But I'll be back next week, Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern here on Attack the Pantry. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank
see
you
you
for
later.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Yeah, bye. Eric, stay on the line. I'll say goodbye to you properly. But everybody else, we're going to try to raid the aquarium. So enjoy that. All right. Bye.